I never had any experience working with fitness coaches. I had a personal trainer here and there, but I wasn't really satisfied with what I was getting, largely because they either didn't really know what they were doing, or I'd ask them technical questions about nutrition or health that they frankly didn't know the answer to, and it seemed like they were kind of making it up because they want to look stupid. So I went through several stages of wanting to get into being more fit and finally controlling my lifestyle. My big scare was my doctor said, look, you're not going to be old enough to see your great-grandchildren if you keep going at this pace. You've got all sorts of issues that eventually could result in heart disease and a heart attack. My good friend in New Jersey, he actually had a heart attack, and he was only 58 when he had his heart attack, and I thought, well, I'm only in my early 40s. I don't want to end up like him, and I certainly don't want to end up like other members of my family who just sort of let their health go. So when I first started with PPT, I had quite a few goals. My primary goals was to control my diabetes, which through my adult life I'd never had really good control of. But when I came to PPT, I had actually a vitamin D deficiency, I had hypothyroidism, and the really other big thing was my cholesterol was really out of control. I'm very happy to say at this point, everything has become completely normalized. And for the first time in my adult life, everything is completely normalized. My doctor's actually happy with her reports when she sees me. I was a little hesitant about starting an in-home fitness program initially because there was some stranger walking into my home. But after the first time I met the first trainer that came through, I was immediately put at ease. I was very comfortable with the humor, the knowledge base, which was very important to me. And I could ask technical questions, whether it was about nutrition or physiology or proper form. And the answers very quickly flowed and were very clearly knowledgeable, and the reasons why we do or what the basis for that, whether it was physiology or nutrition or anatomy or form, was provided to me. And I was very happy with the answers, and I felt much more comfortable. And that's the one thing I really enjoy about PPT is that they don't hire people just to have a warm body, go out to someone's home and do personal training. They actually screen them for people that know things about anatomy, physiology, nutrition, body mechanics, and so forth. I think that's what really sets PPT apart from other types of fitness agencies that I've worked with in the past. Initially, I had no structured goals, and my trainer said, well, there's multiple kinds of goals. There's better strength, longer endurance, better nutrition, and then we separated our goals, how we can make it so that one, they were achievable, two, they were realistic, and then three, how we're going to get there and what kind of time frame, and then do we need sub goals to get to those points. So one of my goals was that I always wanted to bench my body weight. It was a lifelong dream, and I'm actually there now. But initially, I think I was benching about 160 or so, and now I'm up to a little past 220. For as long as I've been in high school and watched other guys bench pressing, I always thought, I really just want to be able to bench my body weight. So I've gotten past that goal. Then the next trigger after I actually met my goal was, what is your next goal? So my trainer and I worked on that, and we said, okay, what are you looking to do next? Is it 230, 240? And I said, I want to be able to bench more than any other person that you're working with. Initially, when I started training, I was actually doing the 55-minute sessions. The 55-minute sessions are great, but we spend 5, 10, 15 minutes with warming up, and then 5, 10 minutes with cooling down. So the bulk of the time that you're really, really working out can shrink considerably. That's kind of the reason I moved up to the 90-minute sessions, so that if I do have a 15-minute warm up and a 15-minute cool down, I still got at least an hour of really good working out, which has helped me considerably. At this point, I work out 6 days a week, 90-minute sessions. We do upper body 3 days a week, every other day. I don't feel sore. I actually feel more energized after the workout than I used to. It's not a struggle to get through it anymore. There are some days that I've got so much energy these days that I'll do the 90-minute workout, and then at some point 6 or 7 hours later or early in the morning, I'll just go do a cardio workout all on my own. And the amazing amount of energy that pours out of me the rest of the day, you would think that it drains you because you're putting out energy to complete the workout. It's not. It's actually very energizing to complete the workout and then get ready to work or play or take care of the kids or whatever it is that needs to get done. Meal planning was a big one, and it continues to be something I still struggle with every now and again. But PPT, every session that I have with whoever the trainer is, will ask about how was nutrition in the past 24 hours since I last saw you. And they'll go through and say, well, this didn't go so well. What could we have done to adjust it, fix it, without interrupting my lifestyle too much or making me feel deprived or too whatever it is. And then even identifying why I would feel deprived and making sure that we can overcome those so that my nutrition, and I'm very proud to say that my nutrition is vastly changed. It was little steps at first, but now we're at the point that I really know what I need to be doing. Whether or not they're around, I can still make the right decisions, and I can even think in my head, I've got this and I've got that. What am I going to do, and how is it best for me at this particular point? Nutrition is probably something that I will continue to work on for the rest of my life. It's still a struggle. One of the things I really enjoy about my trainer, he's not judgmental about what I've eaten in the last 24 hours. He's more about, okay, that's fine that you ate a whatever it is, were there better health choices? Was there something else that could have made this a little bit easier to use, or do you want to make something that you really enjoy, make enough of it for several meals worth? What are the proper proportions of carbs and fats and proteins, and how can we make sure that we maximize what you need for your particular program? I was thoroughly impressed. It is still something I struggle with, but it's always getting better, and I'm really happy that I don't feel like they're saying, well, you ate a donut, how dare you? I'm gonna rake you over the coals for that one. It's more about how can we fix it and what happened that caused it so that we can avoid it in the future. One of the big things that really was triggered because of my trainer and how much energy I was bringing to the sessions was sleep. I didn't think sleep was a big deal. I mean, I told the trainer I was sleeping 6-7 hours a night, which was true, or at least I thought it was true, but I suffered from sleep apnea. So my trainer suggested that I go ask my doctor about a sleep study and see how it goes. What I found after the sleep study was over was that I was waking up, I think the number was 237 times in a single night, was how many times I was literally waking up because of my sleep apnea. So as a result of PPT and working through that, I kept going with my treatment, and I got a sleep mask for sleep apnea. So now I've been sleeping through the night, which is actually a new experience for me. I didn't realize that what I was going through was not normal because it had been that way for so many years. But now I've got so much more energy when I wake up in the morning. It used to be that I would wake up, hit the snooze button again, and just keep hitting it for as long as I could get away with it before I had to get up and go to work or whatever. But now I can sleep 4, 5, 6 hours and wake up very refreshed. I don't hit the snooze button any longer, and I'm actually looking forward to an energetic throughout the day. I think if I had not started with PPT and done everything that I've done up to this point, my peak weight before I started with PPT was around 255. So I've dropped about 35 pounds now. I think my weight would have probably continued to increase. My diabetes numbers would have continued to spiral out of control. I wouldn't be sleeping, and I probably would be eating pizza and donuts for breakfast or dinner every night. And I don't think I would feel nearly as energetic or be able to do the kind of things that I'm able to do now. To someone who's on the fence about whether or not this is the right time to get started to get healthy, that's actually something I addressed with my trainer at one point, and he said there's always I'll get started as soon as Christmas is over, or I start the new job, or some other point of time that I'll start right after I whatever, but there's always going to be some artificial starting point. The only thing you can really do is just jump into it, do the consultation, go through as many sessions as you think is right for you, and see how you feel after a couple of weeks. The thing is to not quit. That will probably set you back a few steps, and then if you get back into the mentality of I'll start right after New Year's, right after Valentine's Day, right after I get married, right after whatever the big event is, I think that's partially the trap that people fall into, back and forth between I'll start right after I whatever. There's never going to be a perfect starting point, and that's the trap that people should try to avoid.